Okay, now we're at another one of my favorite places to stop along Independence Pass, and that is the ghost town of Independence. I have a lot of people ask if they can explore ghost towns out here in Colorado. There are some that are privately owned, but Independence thankfully has a lot of public access. So let's go check it out. So before we head down to the town, I do want to just go over a little bit of the history, but it was believed that gold was discovered here on July 4th in 1897, and that gave the town its name. And then shortly after, a tent city sprang up, and by the summer of 1880 there were 300 people that lived here. It's difficult to imagine building a town in a raw, hostile place like this, but it was worth the effort, as the Fairwell Mill processed nearly $100,000 worth of gold in the first year of operation. And then by 1882, Independence had 40 businesses and ever-growing population that either worked for the company or served traffic between Leadville and Aspen. Like most ghost towns, it's short-lived, and after 1881 and 1882, it kind of just died off. So Independence is a nationally registered historic site, and it is maintained by a 501c3 nonprofit. So one thing that I really like about this trail is that it is full of lots of great history, and they do label most of the houses and buildings here. So this looks like J.B. Connor's boarding house at one time. Not too far from the start of the trail, you will find this sign that will give you the site orientation. This does have a map of what the town used to be. Now, unfortunately, not too much is still remaining. There are about 85 buildings which can still be accounted for through a lot of the depressions in the ground, but most are long gone. For example, that right there, where you see one log and that little flat area, and then just above it, just behind it, those were areas where there used to be structures. So we're gonna, So we're gonna start walking up the trail on the left-hand side before we start heading down to the more preserved structures.
Told that the way to God is a golden road, and it's been said that you lose your way, you jump in the devil's bed.
So guys, if you do take the trail to the left of the town site, there's really not a lot of structures left. I mean, you can see some of the impressions and holes in the ground where things used to be, but it doesn't look like there's any more actual structures up here. But we're gonna go see and see if we can see anything, then we'll turn around and go back to the town site. Some old tin cans. We're still up that old road. I bet you this used to be the main road. You can see up there, there's another flattened out area. But it doesn't really look like there's any more structures up here. So this little cabin doesn't have a family name on it. It just says Miner's Cabin. I can't imagine living up here in the dead of winter back in the 1880s. Here's another one that is also just labeled as Miner's Cabin. It is going to let us go in, which is kind of cool. Hiya, come here, guys. Okay, well, this is inside. Come on, Chris. Okay, I'm not going to back down under there. Here's this little informational sign talking about how they found gold here. There's a couple different ways to do it. There's just panning or hard rock mining, which is, of course, going down into the gold mines. And then there's placer mining, which is more of loose rock and they're not conductive to tunneling like with hard rock mining. Oh, there's some moles living here, or prairie dogs. Come on, Grizzly. This one is. Oh, so this must have been a business instead of a house. So this sign just talks about how they got water into both the town as well as the mines. And they also had a hydropower for the water to help process the gold ore. Some old glass. Lots of metal and old wood from some building. So we're gonna go down this trail. I'm not 100% sure where it goes. I do think there are some more structures down here because you can see them from the road. So we'll see how long this takes. Looks like here we have a collapsed structure and we have the main structure. There is a sign, so let's see what it is discussing. So this is about the stagecoach. So it says, mining communities sprouted up all over Colorado's western slope, and with that, the new businesses supported miners. Road traffic fostered a budding transportation industry, including 3 livery stables and the Carson Brothers stagecoach from Independence to Leadville. At a cost of $10,000, Independence Pass was improved enough to allow wagon and stage traffic. So pretty neat. I do believe there is another structure, so we are going to continue this way. Over here, this is an avalanche trail. I think this happened a couple years ago. This wasn't last year, but they had a ton of avalanches out here. But you can see there's a lot of new growth up at the top. And then over here is another slide path and another and another. So very, very prone to avalanches in the wintertime. Down here, you see popping into view are the last couple of structures on the trail. Part of it is on the other side of the road. And then you can actually see some tailings all the way up there. So this is some of the mining buildings. And there is apparently a river on the trail.
Dance in the light as if no one's really there. I feel the sun in my skin.
Let's go check out what the sign says.
And I know we're driving, but we're going nowhere. So hold me.
And it looks like you might be able to access this part of the trail from the road as well, which I did not know. So this is mill number 2, and this is what it looked like back in the day. So this picture was taken in 1883. So a little bit different now, just a little. And guys, here are the remains of one more building that we couldn't quite see from the road. And there looks like there's a gate down there that might have gone over to a Forest Service road on the other side. But appears to be closed now. So anyway, super cool. We're gonna head back and check out the cabins that we didn't see on our way down. Get a pretty good look into town from here. So this is also a general store. Just some more information about the business district. And here we have information about the hotels and boarding houses. So there were at least 5 hotels and 1 boarding house here. Alright, so that is our trip to Independence. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really awesome ghost town. Definitely check it out.